Hi friends, here are 10 natural sugar substitutes for you to eat when you have those sugar cravings that are anti-inflammatory and good for your metabolism. Now the first thing that I would try are some frozen bananas. Frozen bananas are my all-time favorite treats, especially on a hot summer day. Now I recently found organic bananas for 5 pounds for $1. I bought 10 pounds and I eat about 3 bananas a day. I make banana popsicles by cutting them in half with the peel on and sticking a chopstick through it in the center. Then I take the peel off and gently put them in a freezer safe bag. They give a creamy, sugary texture that tastes like ice cream without the fat and calories and are packed with fiber, potassium, and manganese. There are hundreds of varieties of bananas, but my favorite is simply the Cavendish bananas, which I crave for when I want sugar. And the best time to freeze them is when they first develop some brown speckles. If you don't have time to freeze it, put it in the refrigerator. It will enhance its taste cold. Another wonderful treat to freeze is grapes, but you have to be really careful because they are choking hazards for little children. I like to freeze grapes that are just too mushy to eat. My kids are grape snobs. They won't eat grapes that aren't firm. And I don't prefer soft grapes, but I don't want to throw them away because they're expensive and nutrition and packed with antioxidant polyphenols, especially those dark red, purple grapes. And they really taste better with the peel off, but you really need to eat them with the peel on. It contains resveratrol and lots of fiber to give it that crunch frozen. Mango is my next frozen treat, and it's just so creamy and sweet. There's differences in mangoes as well. The Keat mango is like a giant football-sized creamy sweet mango. Carabao mango is found in stores that can be as cheap as like 20 for $8. And be sure to remove the skin and the pit before you freeze them. Now, when I'm at the Asian market, I also like to buy tropical fruits like lychee. Lychee tastes like sort of like a big stick to me, which is a popsicle stick I used to eat as a kid. But I figured out if I ate those popsicle sticks, I would gain weight. But if I ate fresh fruit that's frozen and tastes like a popsicle, then I won't. A word of warning, don't overeat lychee because it can actually suppress your blood sugar. And it's really not a problem in America, but if you have lychee in your backyard, it can actually suppress it so low that you can get seizures, especially if you don't eat. It contains methylene, cyclopropylene, glycine. For an adult, you eat about 200 lychees that can give you that problem. So you really want to make sure you have some food before you eat lychees. Canned lychees have the same problems, and in addition, it has added sugars. I always want to stay away from added sugars. Another red fruit that I love are strawberries. Surprisingly, they have very little sugar and are packed with vitamin C, polyphenols, water, and fiber. So they're so delicious, bugs love to eat them. That's why they're heavily sprayed with insecticide. So I try to buy pesticide free, and I'm lucky I hooked up with a local farmer who can supply me with my groceries, including strawberries. But if you have to buy conventional strawberries, washing them with a 10% salt and vinegar solution will significantly reduce the pesticide residue. And be sure to rinse off the salt well. And sometimes when I crave from sugar, I don't want something acidic like berries, but I want something creamy. So I microwave a Kabocha Squash. And believe it or not, squash has the texture of a potato with 1/3 of the calories, packed with fiber, and it's very low in carbohydrates and super low in fat. It's also packed with beta carotene that gets converted to vitamin A, necessary for your immune system, skin, brain, and vision. And it's thought to be protective against cancer. But it's really hard to cut up raw. So here's a tip. Stab your squash with a fork all around it and then put it in the microwave, throw it in for about 5 to 8 minutes. When you take it out, it's soft enough to cut. If it's not soft enough to eat, just put it back in the microwave. Now, if you can't find Kabocha Squash, then maybe try a sweet potato. Do the same thing, stab it with a fork, cover it up, and microwave it for about 5 to 10 minutes, depending on the size of your sweet potato, and you'll come out with a nice sweet treat. And unlike the common potato, sweet potato skins are edible and packed with fiber and phytonutrients. Now, personally, I prefer the purple potato. I always look for the deepest, richest color in produce, not only because purple is my favorite color, but also the darker the color, the more anti-inflammatory and antioxidant-rich phytonutrients there are. And I take pride in being efficient, especially when it comes to eating. I don't want to spend my whole day eating. When I eat, I want it to be packed with nutrients. But sometimes I have cravings for gummies, but I won't eat gummies. Gummies actually cause my niece to have 14 calories because she was given all natural gummy fruit juice treats. So instead of gummies, I reach for dried bananas. It's just chewy. It reminds me of a fruit roll-up, which are just as bad as gummies on your teeth. So I don't eat fruit roll-ups. They're always stuffed with artificial sugar and flavors as well. My number one way when I'm looking for a sugar fix is not to eat anything without fiber. Fiber protects it from being rapidly absorbed, from getting metabolic disease, from getting diabetes, and packing on fat. I still love sugar, even though I gave up eating like simple sugars. And instead, I'm always looking for some kind of all-natural way that can boost my health, decrease my inflammation, and satisfy that sugar tooth. So my last tip would be to go get yourself some dried mangoes. Organic dried mangoes. You can buy a huge bag at Costco. They are just as chewy as gummies, probably a little bit chewier because of the fiber. They're sweet and they have that natural mango taste that there's no way any candy can replicate. If you're interested in other ways to get good carbs, check out my next video.